Gary Lineker took to Twitter today and wrote about folk who constantly tell fibs less than an hour after Boris Johnson's legal defense over Partygate was published. The former Prime Minister insisted in his written evidence to the inquiry that his denials over lockdown parties in Number 10 were made in good faith and based on what he honestly knew at the time. Taking to Twitter today, the Match of the Day host, 62, appeared to take a swipe at Mr. Johnson. He penned, "When folk constantly tell fibs, it's really difficult to know when they're telling the truth. I imagine it's even a challenge for themselves." Gary did not say who he was referring to, but many interpreted the post as an attack on Mr. Johnson. Some other users posted comical responses related to football, including whether the verdict by the Cross-Party Privileges Committee on whether Mr. Johnson lied to Parliament might go to VAR. Gary criticised Rishi Sunak's asylum policy, but returned to air following a boycott by Trump on-air talent at the broadcaster. He was taken off air after comparing the language used to launch a new government asylum seeker policy with 1930s Germany in a tweet. The sports pundit returned to his BBC slot on Saturday after his brief suspension. Last week the BBC's Director General Tim Davie claimed that Lineker had agreed to abide by the corporation's editorial rules until a review of its social media guidelines was completed. Mr. Davie later said he recognized grey areas in the broadcaster's social media guidance could cause confusion. He has since announced an independent review of the guidelines, particularly for freelancers. Meanwhile, a 52-page dossier of the ex-PM's defence to claims he lied to Parliament with his Partygate denials has been published. Mr. Johnson signalled he is prepared to take on the Privileges Committee tomorrow in a hearing to decide whether or not he misled MPs over Partygate. He said he looks forward very much to tomorrow's 4-hour session. The former Prime Minister added, "I believe that the evidence conclusively shows that I did not knowingly or recklessly mislead Parliament. The committee has produced not a shred of evidence to show that I have." Mr. Johnson has denied intentionally or recklessly misleading MPs over the Partygate debacle. He said, "So I accept that the House of Commons was misled by my statements that the rules and guidance had been followed completely at Number 10. But when the statements were made, they were made in good faith and on the basis of what I honestly knew and believed at the time. I did not intentionally or recklessly mislead the House on December 1, 2021, December 8, 2021, or on any other date. I would never have dreamed of doing so." He insisted that, other than the assertions of the discredited Dominic Cummings, his former chief aide, there is not a single document that indicates that I received any warning or advice that any event broke the rules. He urged the committee not to treat Mr. Cummings as a credible witness because of his animosity towards me.